So okay, there we go. All right, turn it over to you, girlfriend.
Okay, I will try to keep this as efficient as possible. Quick background on me, because I feel like that helps to know where people are coming from. I will be coaching for 6 or 7 years in December. Long time coach here. When I started, I was full-time physical therapist in the clinic, working crazy hours. I don't know if any of you are in the medical field, but bringing work home, all the notes, all the things, super stressed out, telling other people how to be healthy, but not doing it for me, like rolling in with a granola bar and a can of soup and calling it a day for like a 12-hour shift. It's terrible diet soda, like all the things. And then 21 Day Fix is what changed my life back in that December. I was a December sign up. I was the New Year girl. Like it was me. And I fell in love with the program, the DVD, and started coaching from there, and kind of just fell in love with all of it, but really as a hobby for the most part, because I was that chick who also had, I had my income, I had my 9 to 5, I had my steady job that I wasn't really necessarily looking to replace, but just doing something fun. And as my life changed, and as I became a mom and realized that I could open up other areas of my life more by diving into coaching, that's when I got more serious about like, how legit can I actually make this business? How much of an income can I get? So I, with coaching, paid off my student loans in like half the time. Don't even make me talk about student loans right now. I won't do it. I did pay them off, and I am now per diem with my company. So I just go in when I want to and treat in the clinic whenever they need me. I'm like the substitute teacher, PT. So otherwise I'm here with my 5-year-old son and my twin girls, who are Cooper, is that his name? Yeah, Cooper's age, almost exactly. So we're a little crazy. My husband travels for work, so he's gone a lot during the week, and I'm kind of, doing all the things and trying to keep all the balls in the air, which gets interesting, which is why I love Ignite Your Life. And I love Micah, because she's helping me learn how to keep all the balls in the air without losing my mind. So what Lacey and I were chatting about is just talking about kind of like going back to basics. I feel like September is a really great month to just like fresh start, clean slate. We're almost in the 4th quarter. Like, let's kind of take things back to basics. And we decided we'd talk about Success Club. And I don't know if you guys are Micah fans, if you listen to her podcast, if you heard her podcast about Success Club. If you haven't, she recently did one, and it literally says Success Club in the title. I think it says Screw Success Club. I'm pretty sure that was the title. It made me laugh, but it was very good. So listen to that would be my first tip. But I would say the first thing for me when it comes to Success Club that really changed things for me is to realize that it's more than just this arbitrary goal that Beachbody set for me. Because for a while, I'm an Enneagram 3. So like, if you tell me SC5, I'm just going to hit it to try to hit it. And when I realized that I could tie it to something outside, like something in my life that actually mattered, that's when Success Club became kind of a byproduct of what I was doing. So the first time that happened is when I got the SC trip, and I was qualified for that, and I wanted to earn it. So then it was like, oh, well, we need to make this happen, because I don't want to pay for the trip every month. And the more I hit Success Club month after month, the more I realized, oh, it's not as hard as I was making it in my head, because I was all in my head about it. And then once I did that, I shot for other goals besides Success Club for my life, like in terms of, going per diem at work, how much money would I need to earn a month? What do I need to do? What rank do I need to be at? Like 2-star was a huge thing for me, like get there to get the income that I needed. And to get to 2-star, Success Club was a byproduct, because I needed to bring a certain number of people on. So the first place I would say to start is to just stop staring at Success Club and start staring at your goals and your vision, and then let that drive you. Because I don't care if you bring 3 people on or 10 people on, it has to matter to you in your business and your goals in life. So start there, goals and vision first and foremost, and then tie Success Club to that, because that's the only thing that's going to give it actual meaning to you. The second thing that is a little more tangible which is probably pretty basic again, but know what you're inviting to. Like, actually have a boot camp or a bod group or Facebook, whatever you want to do, and have a date, like a firm I am starting on this date, whether people sign up or not, whether I have one person or 10 people, you have to run your business like a business. And when I got really disciplined with myself in that, that helped me with Success Club too, because I was running my group yearly and I still kind of do, but I was just putting people in whenever they signed up. And that was a lot of work on me. And it was just not, there was no system to it. So I decided, no, every 4 weeks is a new, like I'm keeping the same group, but every 4 weeks is when I'm putting the new girls in. So it's very systematic in that sense, which helps me on the back end with getting things out to people, but it also helps me with that goal in my head of this is the sign up date. And that helps me with my messages when I'm talking to people like, yo, this is the date, like you got to get in because it is what it is. I love you, but sorry. So know what you're inviting to and set a firm date and don't change it. Okay. It is your business, set the date. The third tip I had was, I don't have, your copy and paste message, but have a basic modifiable message that you can send out to people. Like you said, Lacey, we're all kind of busy and we all go crazy. And I feel like the more difficult we make things, the less likely we are to do it. So if I got to make things easy for myself, I have a basic format of how I invite to a group, like a little 3 sentence, it's not long, of how I invite. And then I just tweak it depending on who I'm talking to and where, if we're on Facebook or Instagram, if I saw them in real life, text, whatever, but like all the pieces are there. And then we personalize it, because that way it just is easier for my brain to not think of something new every single time, even though we want to be super genuine. Make it genuine by modifying it, but don't hurt your brain so much. And hold on, and track how many you're sending. I'm not great at tracking, but it really does help to at least have, there's 2 ways I do it. I either have a number in my head of how many invites I'm trying to send out a day, or I have a set time in my head. So if I'm really crunched for time, then I will give myself like, okay, I have 10 minutes I know today that I'll invite, and that's all I'll dedicate myself to for 10 minutes. And when the 10 minutes is up, it's up, and I got out however many I did, and that's fine. And I feel good about it. Those are in my really busy seasons. In my like push, like we gotta get the business moving, we gotta get somewhere, then I have a specific number of invites. And that only helps too on the back end to realize, like, if you did or didn't hit your goal for the month, was your number appropriate for your goal, right? So the only way you know that is by kind of tracking it. Like I said, I'm not the best at it, but we all have room for improvement, right? I start my invites every month with upcoming BOD subscription renewals. Do you guys all know where to find that in your back office? So if you go into your back office, Brenda, under reports, I believe there should be like a subscriptions tab. I think it's subscriptions. Look under reports, you'll find it there. You can just click and drag BOD down into the little box and everyone will show up. You can filter by date. So as soon as you get everyone showing up, click the date and it'll show you these first upcoming for you. So it'll show you like September, whoever. Those are the very first people I message, especially because BOD is $120 a year now. And you can get them $160 plus the $20 off promo code if you want to use it. So it's really like, those are the very first people I start with, because I'm trying to get them like more bang for their buck. And they've already committed to you once. So like always start, it's easiest with the people that already know, love, and trust you. So start there with your, I wouldn't even say warm market, like your hot market, right? Like they're already in it with you. So start with the BOD subscription renewals. And then also your current clients. Is there anyone within your client base that you see kind of falling off or kind of, in the wings? They're not really participating as much. Re-engage with them, ask them if there's any product that they need, especially since Beachbody's been rolling new things out all the time, like first thing and last thing. I know I haven't been pushing that as much, but there has been some interest in it, and people need it. Like I do like it. I like it right now, especially with Bradley bringing home all the kindergarten germs that he's coughing on me. It's a good time of year to talk about that kind of thing. Or do they need, like, obviously we run on Energize, like, do they need the pre-workout and recover? Do they need Shakeology? Like, get them re-engaged, re-involved. Or do they want to do 4-week gut protocol and try the digestive enzymes and the pre and probiotics? That bundle together are Success Club points. Like, think about what your clients are missing and what they need and go there. So current clients, bod subscription renewals. And then if you're still working for goals, obviously you want to be bringing new people in too, not just working with the current. So like brain dump a list of people and don't even think about just any name that pops into your head. I know Beachbody has a memory jogger in the back office. Just brain dump every single person that pops into your head. Just write it on a piece of paper. You don't have to invite all of them, but just at least get them on a piece of paper so that you can kind of go through and pick and choose who could I invite right now? Like who is in my hot like sphere of people that love me that I could send a text out to and be like, yo, I'm doing this group. Do you want to jump in it with me? It's going to be super fun. FYI, if you're not excited about it, no one else is going to be. So that's probably my number one tip. Be freaking excited about whatever group you're running. And if you need to get excited, then find what's going to excite you. Like run it with someone else, run something new, put a theme on it. I don't even care. I've heard of Harry Potter groups. I've heard of friends groups. I've heard of diet bets. Like, do you? I don't care. Just make it exciting for you because then they'll feed off that excitement. So brain dump a list, ask whoever you feel comfortable asking right away, and then connect with the others to see if there's a need that develops, through the connection. And then from there, like we're moving out, right? So we start with all of our people in our life, our clients, everyone that's already there. Then we move to social media, right? Like I feel like we always think social media first, but I don't work that way. I feel like we need to start with our circle first, like the people in our lives. And then we move to social media. So then look at your story viewers. Is there anyone that you've been interacting and engaging with that would really benefit from what you have to offer? And you just have to ask them, right? Like, don't be selfish about it. Don't think about you like we so often do. Like, what are they going to think about me? Am I going to be creepy? Like, no, just put it out there in the most genuine way possible. The worst thing that can happen is they don't say anything or they say no, and that changes nothing in your life. So you might as well just ask. And then after that, you could go to posts, right? Like who's liked and commented on posts. You can look at those people. Like that's kind of the list of people I'll go through in my head. If at that point you feel like there's no one genuine that I can invite. Like I'm not necessarily a cold messenger myself. I've done it. There's a lot of things I've done and tried, especially 7 years into the business, and you kind of figure out what you like and what you don't like as much. So I don't do a lot of cold messaging, but if I look through my list and I feel like there's not a genuine invite in here, then I need to do more work in expanding and connecting. And let me tell you, if you have like 300 followers on Instagram, you have a ton of people to connect with. Like that'll keep you busy connecting with all those people. And then you might find some creepers that you just want to throw out there and block and get rid of. But they're there. I feel like we have to be more intentional with our social media sometimes of actually like sitting down and pay attention to who's already in it. I mean, I don't know if you guys run more on Facebook or Instagram. I'm more of an Instagrammer myself because Facebook, I can't with it. That's me. But luckily they both have stories and all the things now. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I forgot anything. Energy, be excited. Oh, the last thing I wanted to say, because and again, listen to Micah's podcast because she says it so much better than I do. But I think so often, especially if you're wired like me in the Enneagram 3 realm, we do not celebrate until we've achieved. Right? Like we don't give ourselves any freaking credit for anything until we've achieved whatever that goal is. And when you're working for something like 2-star or 5-star or diamond, even, it can feel so dang far away that it will drain the life out of you. Even Success Club can feel far away at the beginning of the month, that it'll drain the life out of you if you only give yourself credit for the achievement. So I want you every day to give yourself credit for the action that you took, because that's what's going to matter in the end towards achieving the goal. Like if you can sit down at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys have heard Melanie Mitchell say this, but I love it. Like sit down at the end of the day and say, I couldn't have given it a fingernail more. Like I did everything I could possibly do. Then freaking pat yourself on the back, pour yourself a glass of wine, go watch something on Netflix. I don't even care. Binge watch. If you did all your work, do it and celebrate yourself before you even achieve. because that's what's going to keep you happy, right? Like, don't make it a job. None of us need another job in our lives, job. Like, that's not why we joined. We joined to bring life to other people and to bring life to ourselves. And for me, that's what it's all about. Okay, Lacey, that's the most of what I have. I don't know if you need me to dig into anything else.
That was amazing. Like, seriously, like totally amazing. You guys, I always say, because with Team Cup just getting over too, I had so many of the coaches messaging me saying, I just feel so guilty. Like, if I don't hit Success Club, I'm going to feel so guilty. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, get that out the window. I'm like, you are the only person who knows if you put in the work. And I'm like, if you did and you didn't get there, that does not matter. I'm like, I could care less. I'm like, but you put in the work. And I'm like, those seeds will, like, those seeds will grow. They're planted. That's so awesome. And so I love that. Totally. You guys, any questions for Carrie at all? Carrie, I did not realize you've been a coach for 6 years. That's awesome.
It's a long
you
time.
you have been here through all the things.
That's like a dinosaur. Yeah. It's a lot.
I have a question, Carrie, because I kind of run the group. I have one group for like the entire year, and I've done that for a couple of years now. And I love what you said, because like I've wanted to switch it up somehow. So like, say you started on the 1st and you have somebody that signs up on the 5th. Do you do anything with them in like the interim, which I know they need to get their products and everything?
Right. I mean, that for those people, I kind of leave it up to them. Like, I'll tell them, the group kicked off 4 days ago. Obviously, within the first week, people are still just getting started. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but some people have like a real, like, I want to day one it with people. And if that's the case, then I'll just give them something to get them started with, right? Like, okay, well, why don't you start checking out body or 21-day fix or something short, clean week, just get used to the meal plans or whatever it is. And then I'll message you back on X date and just set their expectation of like when they would start. But that's just more of a case by case, person by person type of basis.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And then do you just kind of like, even though it's like that one group for the whole year, at the beginning of each month, you just kind of have like a new, like kind of like intro, and which is awesome, because I think people that have been in the group kind of need a reset a lot too.
They do. And I try to have a new focus. You know what I mean? Like, just because, again, I'll get bored. And I know if I'm getting bored with my group, then so are other people. And I run on bod groups. And I know the challenge on bod groups is community, right? Communication, getting people to engage back with you. So I try to do a new focus. And then something I just started with Lift More that I'm going to continue on is a message thread on Facebook Messenger with like my new signups, or, people that just joined that month. So that they can feel some more community there. And then I'm not getting 1,000 separate messages with questions when I'm just like, check the bod group, it's all in there. Like, it's already in there, but they're not checking because they're not trained to check it like they check Facebook every day. So the messenger pod has been super helpful. And then I try to, keep it fresh with like a new focus.
I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carrie, I've got a question for you. Okay, so where you're starting, like, I just barely started doing this, where the first kind of like 2 weeks of them, or actually the last week of the month, and then like the first week, I'm heavily inviting like crazy, because I have a set start date or whatever. So is that what you do too? Do you like have a couple weeks where you're like, okay, and then the other part of the weeks, are you focusing more on like business, like inviting to the business like crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's been my system this year, and I haven't been the best at systems, but it's worked the best for me this year. So I'll invite heavily for 2 weeks to the boot camp. And then what I'll do for the next 2 weeks is invite to coaching. But honestly, a lot of those coach invites are from my boot camp. Like, I try to get as many people in as possible, because week 1, and I know that sounds like early to a lot of people, but at the end of week 1, I'm inviting every single person that signed up for that boot camp to coaching, because I feel like that's when your energy is high. Like, you see amazing results in your first week if you're really putting in the work. And it's so easy to capitalize on that energy and invite other people to join you. And then they also have a couple weeks before the next start date that they could roll people in. So that's been my system, is 2 weeks heavy invite to the boot camp, 2 weeks coaching.
That is awesome. Okay, so just recently, like that Emily Lemoyne and Erin Hopkins, like Stephanie is choosing this, and she's like, "You got to do this, Lacey," because I have not, and I'm like, okay, and this month I've committed. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna screw my what is coaching webinars because I'm like, I keep not inviting to those, and
I
I
know.
keep doing them. I'm like, no one shows up. I'm like, I'll send the recording a lot, but I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, because you're right, the energy is high. It's high in that
Yeah.
first, week especially. Like, figure out their day one, get them to commit to you when they're gonna start that day one, and then literally, I have her system right here on a tab.
It's good. I know. And I'm not as systematized as they are, but it's also just good to have some type of like, on X date, I invite like, I don't prejudge, because you never know who's going to need coaching. But yeah, like I try different stuff, right? Webinars work for some people. One of my coaches just ran a sneak peek group on Facebook. My sneak peeks just die in the ground. They don't work. Webinars do okay, but I feel like everyone's so sick of being on Zoom nowadays that those can be hard too, and we're busy. So, and I get my best coaches from my boot camps anyway, so I tend to just focus on where the money's at for me, right? Like where are these golden girls? They're in my boot camp.
You guys, it's so true. And literally, like, so I worked at corporate forever. Everyone knows that. And 75% of coaches were challengers first. And when you can get them to like get in there, love the programs, love the products, and then they want to be a coach, they stick to the programs and they stick to drinking their products. Like, I'm like, even if they just have that name coach and they haven't invited one person, they have that title. And so that accountability layer is huge. And so I just got to get more brave. I got to get more brave about just inviting in that first week.
I know, we all do. But then it's one of those things, like like inviting to your challenge group, the more you do it, the easier and more natural it feels, right? Like you just kind of rip the Band-Aid off. And I'll say, this might be different. It is different for everyone. I right now sign everyone up as a PC. Part of that is because I'm pushing for rank. So obviously with 5-star, you've got a lot of different things happening. But I've also found in doing this that I have more retention with preferred customers, similar to coaches. I have more retention on product when someone starts as a preferred customer. And it's the free upgrade to coach anyway. So it's also an easier transition because I'm coming back in a week to ask them if they want to coach. It literally changes nothing in their life. Like they're already kind of, I've already told them that they'll have a $15.95 the next month and the discounts. All it changes is the fact that now they can get product or they can get money back for what they're doing. So that's how I roll currently. It might change at some point based on rank and goals and all that, but that's my system. It's like the one system I have.
I love it. Even before they had preferred customers, every single person was signed up as a discount coach. And honestly, I always wanted people to save money. And then I didn't even want to have to mess with that second step, of like changing them from a customer to and I just call them discount coaches to get the discount on the product.
Yeah. It's just extra. And it's so much easier for me to have people do the sign up right away than try to like explain it to them later. It's just too much. They're like, I don't understand. I'm like, okay, fine. Don't worry about it.
Awesome. Okay, you guys, any other questions? Carrie, thank you so much. Like I literally,
you're welcome.
These notes. You guys, I will post these in our group again, and I will post this recording also for those for our teams who missed it or whatever. Carrie, that was amazing.
I'm so glad you guys got on.
Much. Yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome, Twinnie.
I know, right? I got to come to Delaware now.
You do. Come visit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night, girls.
Yeah, you guys have a good night. Okay, you guys, I'll post it in our group and we'll go from there. But I'll set the recording there too. So, all right, Carrie, see you in just like 5 minutes.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.